Chosen one, slow down for a moment and let this land, because this message is not chasing you, it is meeting you exactly where you are. December 29th is not appearing in your life by chance or coincidence. Long before you reach this season of exhaustion, questioning, and quiet endurance, this moment was already written into the unseen timeline of your life. There is a spiritual weight attached to this day, a holy insistence that you stop scrolling, stop rushing, and listen with your whole heart. This is not just information, it is an invitation. Heaven is not speaking to the crowd right now, it is speaking to you personally, calling you by identity, not by history, not by failure, not by labels others placed on you. You are being addressed as the chosen one because you were trusted with a journey that required endurance, depth, and obedience even when clarity was absent. December 29th carries an urgency that you can feel but may not fully explain, a sense that something is concluding and something else is demanding your attention. This is why you are being asked to stay until the end, because partial listening produces partial activation. Engagement here is not superstition, it is agreement. When you comment, when you type the number 99, when you consciously stay present, you are signaling readiness. You are saying, I am open, I am aligned, I am willing to receive. The spiritual realm responds to recognition. What you honor begins to move toward you. What you acknowledge gains permission to manifest. Let your guard down just enough to receive what is being offered here, because December 29th is not about hype, it is about alignment. Something that has been waiting on your awareness is now stepping forward, and the moment you recognize it, the process accelerates. December 29th is not simply another day closing out a year, it is a declaration made in divine time. Calendar dates measure passing hours, but divine moments announce shifts, and this one speaks loudly in the spirit. This date is not passive, and it is not symbolic, it is functional. It marks the moment where something that has been paused receives authorization to move again. December 29th is the pivot point between waiting and walking, between hoping and holding. It is the moment where heaven and earth come into agreement concerning your life, aligning timing, readiness, and permission all at once. For a long time, it felt like silence surrounded you, like nothing was responding to your prayers or efforts, but silence does not mean inactivity. Silence often precedes announcements. This date is an announcement. It declares that the stillness is ending and motion is beginning. It declares that what was suspended is now supported. It declares that the pressure you felt was not meant to crush you, but to prepare you for release. December 29th is when the unseen alignment begins to show signs of movement in the visible world. You may not hear thunder or see dramatic signs immediately, but spiritually, this date carries volume. It is loud enough to disrupt stagnation and strong enough to override resistance. What once felt delayed now has momentum behind it. This is not emotional encouragement, it is a spiritual handoff. Waiting hands over control to movement. Faith hands over to fulfillment. Preparation hands over to manifestation. December 29th does not ask for permission, it makes a declaration. The pause has served its purpose, and the next phase is authorized to begin. There were moments during the waiting season when you questioned everything, your prayers, your purpose, even your faith. You waited through silence that felt heavier than hardship, through unanswered questions that wore on your emotions, through seasons where effort seemed to produce nothing visible. It is important now that you hear this clearly. Delay was never denial. God was not ignoring you, withholding from you, or testing your patience for sport. Timing in the spiritual realm is intentional, and release without readiness can be destructive. Some blessings carry weight, responsibility, and exposure that can overwhelm an unprepared vessel. What felt like delay was actually protection. God was not saying no, He was saying not yet. Behind every unanswered prayer was a deeper preparation happening within you. Your character, your discernment, your emotional stability, your capacity to hold without panicking or sabotaging what you receive. God refuses to release things prematurely when they would harm you instead of help you. The waiting season was not about making you suffer. It was about making you sustainable. You were being strengthened where you were once fragile, matured where you were once reactive, and grounded where you were once desperate. Every moment of silence taught you how to listen differently. Every delay taught you how to trust deeper. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was forgotten. The wait was doing something to you so that what comes next does not break you. While you felt unseen, overlooked, and stuck, God was active in ways you could not detect. Heaven was not quiet about you, only discreet. Your name was being spoken in rooms you never entered, in conversations you never heard, in realms beyond your awareness. Circumstances were shifting quietly, people were being repositioned, and pathways were being cleared without your involvement. You mistook invisibility for abandonment, but invisibility was actually concealment. God often hides what He is protecting until the timing is right. While you questioned your progress, synchronization was happening. Events that seemed unrelated were aligning. Delays in one area were adjusting outcomes in another. What looked like nothing was actually everything being arranged. Silent progress is still progress, and divine orchestration rarely announces itself in advance. God was ensuring that when movement finally came, it would be stable, supported, and sustainable. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared privately for a future that would eventually require visibility. What you couldn't see was still working in your favor, and now, as December 29th arrives, the unseen begins to surface. The reason the heaviness begins to lift now is not because circumstances suddenly changed, but because the assignment of the waiting season has been completed. The weight you carried was never meant to be permanent. It was purposeful. You were entrusted with pressure because pressure reveals capacity, endurance, and faith without applause. You carried responsibilities no one saw, battles no one acknowledged, and questions no one could answer for you. There were days you woke up already tired, nights you went to sleep still processing, and moments where you wondered how much longer you could hold on without breaking. But the truth is, you were being measured quietly, not by your performance, but by your perseverance. Heaven was watching how you handled obscurity, how you responded to disappointment, and how you treated others when life felt unfair. You passed tests you didn't even know you were taking. You stayed when walking away would have been easier. You trusted when clarity was absent. You remained faithful when results were invisible. That is why December 29th matters. This date does not arrive to test you again. It arrives to confirm that the work is finished. The weight lifts because it no longer has permission to stay. It has extracted everything it needed to build in you: strength, humility, wisdom, and depth. God does not keep pressure on a vessel once it has been properly formed. Heaven releases what was sealed when the container is ready, not when the desire is loud. You are not the same person who entered the waiting season, and because you are different now, the season must end. December 29th marks the official handoff between preparation and release, between endurance and reward, between carrying weight and carrying purpose. It is time to dismantle the lie that suffering meant abandonment. The silence you experienced was not God stepping away. It was God stepping closer in a way that required trust instead of reassurance. You were not being punished, you were being positioned. Silence is often sacred instruction, not rejection. When God goes quiet, it is usually because He is teaching you how to hear without constant confirmation. The breaking you went through was not destruction, it was reconstruction. Layers that could not survive elevation had to come off. Mindsets that would sabotage future blessing had to be confronted. Emotional habits rooted in fear had to be unlearned. God was waiting not for perfection, but for alignment. Readiness mattered more than speed. If what you asked for had come earlier, it would have cost you more than it gave you. So God waited, not because He forgot you, but because He values you too much to release you prematurely. Positioning often feels like isolation. Alignment often feels like loss. But December 29th reveals the truth. Nothing you endured was random. You were being placed precisely where you needed to be so that when the door opened, you would walk through it whole, not wounded, prepared, not panicked. The wait ends now because the positioning is complete. Something profound is shifting in how you see yourself, even if you haven't fully articulated it yet. For a long time, your identity was shaped by survival. You learned how to endure, how to adapt, how to stay standing when life kept applying pressure. Survival taught you resilience, but it was never meant to be your permanent identity. December 29th marks the transition from survivor to successor. A successor does not live in constant reaction. They live in responsibility. They are not just trying to make it through. They are trusted to carry inheritance. This shift requires maturity, stability, and self-awareness, all of which were developed during the waiting season. You are shedding the mindset that expects loss and embracing one that can sustain increase. You are becoming someone who can receive without guilt, lead without insecurity, and hold abundance without fear of losing yourself. God could not give you successor-level responsibility while you still thought like someone merely trying to survive. That is why the identity had to change first. December 29th is not just about what you receive, it is about who you have become. You are stepping into a version of yourself that can steward favor, influence, and provision with wisdom rather than anxiety. The inheritance you are about to carry requires the identity you now hold. December 29th carries a spiritual volume that overrides resistance. Heaven is speaking louder than every voice that once tried to discourage, delay, or derail you. What intimidated you before is losing authority now. The atmosphere around your life is shifting because a decree has already been made. When heaven speaks, opposition must respond. Blessings that were withheld are being released not slowly, but decisively. Favor that was hidden is surfacing. Doors that resisted you are opening without explanation. You may feel it as lightness, clarity, or a sudden sense of peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. That is not emotional, it is environmental. The spiritual environment around you has changed. December 29th marks the moment where resistance no longer has the final say. What stood in your way was allowed only for a season, and that season has expired. Heaven is not negotiating with obstacles anymore, it is overruling them. The shift may begin subtly, but it will not remain quiet. Momentum is replacing stagnation. Authority is replacing hesitation. What once required force will now respond to alignment. This is the sound of heaven speaking louder, and once heaven speaks, movement is inevitable. As December 29th approaches and activates, you may begin noticing subtle, but undeniable changes within you before anything changes around you. Your clarity sharpens in ways you cannot ignore. Decisions that once felt confusing now feel obvious. Discernment rises, not as suspicion, but as quiet knowing. You sense things before they happen, feel when something is off without needing proof, and recognize alignment without forcing logic. This is not imagination. It is spiritual sensitivity awakening after a long season of refinement. Your dreams may become more vivid, more symbolic, or more instructive. Your intuition feels louder than fear. There is an internal certainty forming, even if external evidence hasn't fully caught up yet. This is how acceleration begins, internally first. Heaven always aligns the inner world before it moves the outer one. You may feel like the veil is thinning, like you are more aware of spiritual patterns, emotional undercurrents, and hidden motives, both in yourself and others. This is not to overwhelm you, but to prepare you. Acceleration requires discernment because speed without wisdom creates damage. December 29th signals that your alignment is strong enough to handle momentum. What once took months of effort will soon take days of alignment. You will notice conversations shifting, opportunities appearing unexpectedly, and confirmations arriving without you chasing them. Acceleration does not feel chaotic when it comes from heaven. It feels natural, almost inevitable. This is the sign that the waiting season did its job. You are no longer guessing, you're recognizing. And recognition is the doorway to movement. There will come a point very soon when you realize you no longer need to explain yourself, defend your journey, or convince anyone of what God is doing in your life. December 29th marks the beginning of visible proof. Not loud proof, not forced proof, but undeniable evidence. Results will speak where words once failed. Manifestation will answer questions that arguments never could. Those who doubted you, dismissed you, or quietly questioned your patience will witness fulfillment without being invited into explanation. Vindication will not arrive through confrontation. It will arrive through delivery. You will not need to announce what has changed. People will see it. They will feel it. They will recognize it without you saying a word. This is how God restores dignity. He does not rush to justify you verbally. He establishes you visibly. The proof will show up in consistency, in favor, in peace, in stability, and in outcomes that cannot be denied. You will realize that silence was not weakness, it was strategy. December 29th begins the season where your life itself becomes the testimony. What once looked like delay will be recognized as discipline. What once looked like loss will be understood as alignment. You will not need to argue your worth because your results will quietly but firmly confirm it. This is divine vindication, clean, calm, and undeniable. After a long season where doors felt sealed and resources felt limited, December 29th initiates a noticeable shift. Opportunities begin to appear suddenly, without you forcing or chasing them. Conversations open pathways. Connections emerge naturally. Emails, approvals, responses, and confirmations arrive with unusual ease. Where there was once silence, there is now movement. Where there was once delay, there is now flow. Financial drought begins to break, not necessarily all at once, but decisively. Streams begin forming where there were none before. What is important to understand is that these doors are not opening because you tried harder. They are opening because alignment replaced effort. God is restoring what was delayed, but not in its old form. What returns comes upgraded, better positioned, better supported, and better suited to who you are now. Some opportunities you thought you missed were simply postponed until you were ready to steward them properly. December 29th marks the return, not of scraps, but of provision with purpose. You will notice that what comes now feels sustainable, not draining. It fits your capacity. It honors your growth. This is not random favor, it is restored flow. Looking back, you will realize that the true assignment of the waiting season was never about receiving, it was about holding. God was not withholding blessings, He was expanding your capacity. You were stretched emotionally, spiritually, and mentally so that when increase arrived, it would not overwhelm you. Capacity determines sustainability. Without it, blessings become burdens. During the wait, desperation was slowly replaced with discernment. You learned when to say no, when to walk away, and when to trust silence. You stopped chasing crumbs because you learned your value. You stopped forcing doors because you learned patience. December 29th reveals that the stretching is complete. You can now hold overflow without panic, opportunity without insecurity, and responsibility without collapse. This is why things begin to flow now. God only fills what can contain without leaking. You are no longer the same container you once were. You are deeper, stronger, and more grounded. Capacity was the real test, and you passed it. December 29th is not just another moment you pass through. It is a divine appointment that has been moving toward you just as intentionally as you have been moving toward it. Long before you were aware of the significance of this day, prayers you whispered in exhaustion and hopes you carried quietly were already traveling toward this moment. This is where prayers and prophecy collide, where what was spoken over your life meets the timing required for manifestation. A divine appointment does not require perfection, it requires presence, and you are here because you stayed. Delay did not disqualify you, it matured you. Destiny did not forget you, it waited for you to become ready to meet it without fear. December 29th marks the handoff where preparation steps aside and destiny steps forward. In the unseen, movement is already happening. Angels are not waiting for permission. They are responding to instruction already released. Favor has been assigned direction. Opportunities are being nudged into alignment. You may not yet see the full picture, but heaven confirms attendance regardless of visibility. Divine appointments rarely feel dramatic at first. They feel quiet, grounded, and strangely peaceful. That peace is confirmation. It means resistance no longer has authority over the outcome. December 29th is the moment where you realize you did not miss anything. Every detour refined you. Every delay redirected you. Nothing was wasted. You arrived exactly on time for the life you are about to step into. Destiny does not rush, but it does not forget. This date proves that what was promised was preserved, and what was preserved is now ready to be delivered. What you endured was not passive waiting, it was prophetic positioning. From the outside, it may have looked like nothing was happening, but internally, transformation was unfolding layer by layer. The weight you carried was not meant to crush you, it was meant to form you. Waiting became a womb where something rare was incubated. You learned how to trust without constant reassurance, how to remain faithful without immediate reward, and how to stand firm without visible support. That kind of waiting produces depth that cannot be rushed or replicated. December 29th reveals that the waiting was never about punishment, it was about protection. Rare oil is never exposed early. It is hidden, guarded, and refined until the moment it can be released without being wasted or misused. You are being protected from environments that could not steward you, people who could not honor you, and opportunities that would have depleted rather than developed you. Incubation always feels heavy because growth happens internally before it becomes visible. What you were carrying required silence, not spotlight. The prophetic nature of your waiting was shaping a version of you that could sustain longevity, not just momentary success. December 29th marks the end of incubation and the beginning of release. The waiting did its job. The transformation is complete. What was forming in the dark is now strong enough to emerge into the light without losing its potency. Every birth requires pressure, and what you felt pressing on you was not opposition, it was transition. December 29th marks the moment where the shell that once protected you can no longer contain what you carry. The old structure did its job, but it has reached its limit. Delay breaks under the weight of calling. What once felt like restriction now reveals itself as preparation for emergence. You were hidden because you were developing, not because you were insignificant. Private covenant always precedes public emergence. Before God reveals, He roots. Before He elevates, He stabilizes. The pressure you felt was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to signal that growth had outgrown containment. Emergence does not mean exposure, it means readiness. You are not stepping forward as the same person who entered the waiting season. You are stepping forward with clarity, boundaries, discernment, and strength. December 29th is not about sudden fame or attention. It is about alignment becoming visible. What was once nurtured in silence now has the structure to stand in the open without collapsing. The shell breaks because it has fulfilled its purpose. What emerges is not fragile, it is formed. This is not reckless release, it is intentional unveiling. You are not being pushed out prematurely, you are being invited forward because you are ready to be seen without being shaken. What is unfolding now is not temporary relief from pressure, it is permanent resolution. December 29th does not introduce a short-lived breakthrough, it establishes lasting change. Cycles that repeated themselves despite your efforts are coming to a decisive end. Patterns that once felt automatic are losing their grip. Warfare that drained you is losing authority because its assignment has expired. God is not testing you anymore, He is establishing you. Testing belongs to preparation. Establishment belongs to inheritance. This is legacy-level change, not momentary encouragement. You are stepping into a season where progress is not constantly undone by setbacks, where peace is not fragile, where momentum does not require constant force. December 29th marks a ceiling, not a trial. What God establishes, He sustains. What He ends, He does not revive. The instability of the past does not follow you forward. You are not moving into relief, you are moving into order. The foundation beneath you has been reinforced through waiting, discipline, and endurance. That is why this change lasts. This is not about escaping hardship. It is about outgrowing it. Permanent change requires depth, and depth is what the waiting gave you. Now, what begins stays. There were losses you never fully explained, endings that came without closure, separations that felt abrupt and unfair, and moments where what you depended on simply stopped working. December 29th gives you the clarity that pain withheld at the time. What you experienced was not chaos, it was divine surgery. God removed what could not survive where you were going, even if it was familiar, even if it was comfortable, even if it once felt essential. Some people could not go forward with you because they were aligned with an older version of you that no longer existed. Some opportunities ended because they were built on foundations that would collapse under future pressure. Some connections dissolved because they would have drained what was meant to multiply. Surgery always hurts because it involves cutting, but cutting is not cruelty when it saves your life. Protection often disguises itself as loss because if you understood it too early, you would resist it. God does not explain removal in advance because attachment clouds discernment. December 29th allows you to look back without grief blinding your vision. You can now see that what left made room. What ended preserved energy. What was taken prevented damage you never saw coming. Divine surgery removes quietly, precisely, and intentionally. Nothing unnecessary was cut. Nothing essential was lost. Everything removed was either expired, misaligned, or unable to sustain the weight of what you now carry. The pain was real, but so was the protection. And now, with clearer eyes, you can finally say that what hurt you also healed you. One of the greatest fears you carried during the waiting season was the fear of being seen too soon, too exposed, too unprotected. December 29th addresses that fear directly. You are not being released uncovered. Visibility does not mean vulnerability when God is involved. Revelation does not equal exposure when elevation is guided by heaven. Angels are not symbolic here. They represent order, covering, and enforcement. Boundaries have been installed in your life that did not exist before. Discernment now filters access. Wisdom now governs openness. You are no longer available to everything that asks for you. God does not elevate without armor. He does not reveal without reinforcement. What emerges now does so with structure, not fragility. You are being seen without being stripped. You are being acknowledged without being drained. December 29th marks a season where you can stand in the open without anxiety, because what once threatened you no longer has permission. Elevation often scares people because they remember past wounds, but you are not stepping forward as the same person who was once hurt by exposure. You are stepping forward fortified, guarded, and aware. God releases you without abandoning you. Visibility now comes with security. You are not just lifted, you are held. If the weight had been shorter, the well would have been shallower. December 29th confirms that the depth you now carry could only be formed through time, pressure, and endurance. Depth is not something that appears quickly, it is carved slowly. Every unanswered prayer deepened you. Every delay widened your capacity. Every quiet season expanded your internal landscape. This is why you now carry peace where anxiety once ruled. This is why patience replaced urgency. This is why wisdom speaks before impulse reacts. The weight you carried did not just strengthen you, it refined you. You can now hold overflow without panic, influence without ego, and responsibility without resentment. Depth shows itself not in how loudly you speak, but in how calmly you respond. Triggers that once controlled you now pass without reaction. Situations that once overwhelmed you now meet discernment instead of fear. December 29th reveals that the weight was not excessive, it was exact. The longer the wait, the deeper the reservoir. And now, when increase arrives, it does not flood you, it fills you. Depth is what allows sustainability, and sustainability is what separates momentary success from lasting impact. You were never meant for shallow victories. You were prepared for enduring ones.